Welcome students to the online class. Today we are going to study a poem, Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. Robert Frost was an American poet who depicted realistic New England life through language and situations familiar to the common man. He won 4 Pulitzer Prizes for his work. The poem Dust of Snow by Robert Frost is a simple and short poem, yet with a deeper and larger meaning. The poet explains how an act as petty as experiencing snow on one's body can brighten one's day up. The message of the poem is put into words by Robert Frost. Always, always, a larger significance, a little thing touches a larger thing. The poem has been divided into 2 stanzas having 4 lines each. So, let us begin with stanza 1. Stanza 1. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Look at this picture on your screen. This is the picture of a hemlock tree. Hemlock tree is a poisonous tree with small white flowers. Now in these 4 lines, a winter's day is depicted. All the treetops were covered with snowflakes. Now picturize in your mind, the poet was walking under one such snow-covered tree, which was a hemlock tree. A crow shook down on the poet dust of snow. Like you have seen dust particles, tiny particles, not even visible to the naked eye. Like this, tiny particles of snow fell on the poet because of a crow. Now this crow, while sitting on or flying off or passing by, which is not mentioned in this poem, how it happened, but now this crow, it from the hemlock tree showered dust of snow on the poet. So, 2 things which give a negative picture. Crow, considered a bad omen, inauspicious. Hemlock, which is a poisonous tree. Before we move on further to the next stanza, let us look at the literary devices in this stanza. Rhyme scheme. If you see line 1 and 3, the words crow and snow are rhyming with each other. Line 2 and 4, me and tree are rhyming with each other. So the rhyme scheme is AB, AB. Second poetic device is inversion. Now what is inversion? When the structure of a sentence is changed by the poet to create rhyme. This poetic license is called inversion. And in stanza 1, you can see that how the poet has used inversion to make his poetry more beautiful and to enable the rhyme scheme. Third device is enjambment. When the same sentence continues to the next line without the use of any punctuation marks, it is called enjambment. It has been used throughout the poem. And if you see over here, in all these lines, there's no comma, there's no full stop. It is a single sentence which has been put in 4 lines. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Fourth, assonance. The prominence or repetition of a vowel sound throughout a line is called assonance. Now, if you look, stanza 1, line 2, shook down on me. O sound is prominent. It is repeated. And so that is why the poetic device assonance. Now, let's move on to stanza 2. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Before I explain stanza 2, let's together read 1 and 2. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Now, what do you mean by rued? Rued means held in regret. Now, why so? Now, what has happened? Look at the sequence of events. The shower of dust of snow changed the mood of the poet. The poet was in a terribly bad mood. He had actually fixed it in his mind that the day would simply go waste in his distressed state of mind. Now look at the literary devices. Rhyme scheme. Line 5 and 7, heart, part. Line 6 and 8, mood, rude. So the rhyme scheme CD, CD. Second poetic device, alliteration. What is alliteration? The occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. The instances of alliterations are as follows. Now, if you see line 5, has given my heart. Has and heart. Like two words, either they are too close to each other or they are a little far from each other, but they have the same letter or sound, like has, heart. The letter H is same. And so, this is alliteration. Then, you have saved some in line 7. Saved some. So, this is also alliteration. Again, you have enjambment, when the same sentence continues to the next line without the use of any punctuation marks. It is called enjambment. It has been used throughout the poem. And so, again you see there's no comma, there's no full stop. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Then consonants. In the first stanza, it was assonance, repetition of a vowel sound. Now here it is consonants, repetition of a consonant sound throughout a line. Now in this, if you see, of a day I had rued. Day, had, rued. D sound has been repeated again. And so that is why you have consonants. Now, let us look at the poem. What is the situation of the poet? The poet is hopeless and distressed. Now, in this situation of the poet, what is the action that takes place in the poem? Dust of snow is showered on the poet. So, what happens because of this? The reaction. Shift of poet's mood from hopelessness and boredom to bliss and hope. Once again, look, what is the situation? The poet is hopeless and distressed. He has got no hope at all. He is in a terribly bad mood. What happens? Action. Dust of snow showered on the poet. What is the reaction? Shift of poet's mood from hopelessness and boredom to bliss and hope. Now look here very carefully. the negative symbols. Crow, inauspicious, considered a bad omen, not very attractive, not liked by many. Hemlock tree, a poisonous tree. Both of these are all negative symbols. But the crow, while sitting on or flying off or passing by the hemlock tree, showers dust of snow on the poet, which changes the terribly bad mood of the poet. That means negative symbols bring in positivity and optimism. So now let us look at the main theme of the poem. First is communication between nature and humans. That means it shows communication or some kind of connection. God created nature for man, and everything in nature is connected to man. And this poem clearly shows the communication and even the connection between nature and humans. One very simple thing, insignificant thing. The crow, just by its slightest movement, showers dust of snow, and that too sitting on a poisonous tree. Showers dust of snow and it changes the mood of the poet. So communication between nature and humans. Second, unimaginable healing power of nature and cure from negative human emotions. Because of the poet being in a terribly bad mood, he had all negativity inside him. Simple action of dust of snow being showered on him changes his mood from negativity to positivity. Third, highlights the significance of small natural events. Sometimes we tend to overlook small things, but small things can make your day really beautiful. For example, you are standing with some of your friends, 5, 6, 7 friends, and suddenly a small child comes to you and gives you a small chocolate eclairs. It may be the cost is not important at that time, but it does make you smile. You know why? Because when you were standing with 5, 6, 7 friends of yours, something in you attracted the child towards you. He did not go to anyone, but he chose to come to you. And he gave you that small eclair. It could be 1 rupee, it could be 2 rupee, it could be 5 rupee, doesn't matter. But that gesture makes you smile and changes your mood. So small things, which we may think are insignificant, are not really important, matter a lot. So the message conveyed by the poet is, actually the poem conveys poet's optimism and his message to the readers about finding something positive even in the negative things. Second, one should not lose hope but get relief and inspiration from little things in the worst of situation. Now children, let's look at this question to better understand the poem. The question reads like this: it is our attitude towards a situation that makes it positive or negative. Do you agree with it? Express your views with reference to the poem Dust of Snow. Now you must have heard people saying, life is a race. Well, I would rather say life is an obstacle race. Obstacles come in every life but are placed differently in different time zones. For example, I cannot say that I would have no problems in my life, or I do not have any problems in my life. Neither does my neighbor or my friend have a problem-free life. We all have problems. We all face problems in different time zones. Maybe today is a bad day for me. It may not be a bad day for somebody else. It may be a happy moment for somebody else. But when it is my happy moment, does not mean it would be a happy moment for somebody else. It could be a sad moment for them. But one thing is sure, that we are going to face problems. We will have obstacles in our life. But yes, they will be placed at different places. All of us will not have the obstacle at the same place at the same time. They will be placed in every life in different time zones. So be prepared to jump over your obstacles with a positive mindset. Don't think today's problem is over. Tomorrow I will not have any problem. It is not going to happen like this. Be ready to face the challenges of life. Today's problem is over. Tomorrow might be another problem. Be ready to face it with a positive mindset. You don't always need big things to be happy. Find happiness in small things. The poet in the poem Dust of Snow found happiness in that dust of snow which was showered on him by the crow. Your positive attitude alone can take you to a higher altitude. That means if you want to soar high in life, rise up in life, do not wait for big things to make you happy. Accept the challenges of life, or accept the problems of life as a challenge. Cross over them with a positive mindset, and you will see that in life you are rising to a higher altitude every day. Now for your home assignment, you have short answer questions. Number 1, what mood of the poet is reflected in the poem? Second, what do the crow, hemlock tree, and dust of snow represent in the poem? You are going to answer 3 of them separately. What does the crow represent in the poem? Hemlock tree and dust of snow. Third, what is the message given by the poem? Children, I really feel this message is quite apt in our present situation. Even in this lockdown period, finding joy in small things is so very important. Do not be distressed. Smile and pass it on to others. God can change any mess into a beautiful message. Be thankful. Enjoy the moment. Be hopeful and cheerful. God bless you all. Thank you. See you again in the next class.